Believe it or not, I have never made a tomato soup cake. I know. I love vintage cookbooks, I love vintage recipes, and somehow I've never tried it. Well, it's National Soup Day. What better way to celebrate? This video is part of a collaboration with Jim from Jim's Kitchen and Sherry from Cooking with Sherry. Not only is it National Soup Day, it's also Jim's birthday. So I thought it only appropriate to make cupcakes. All of us are gonna be cooking from this cookbook, Cooking with Soup. This is a Campbell's Soup cookbook, and I see this a lot in thrift stores, half-price books, places like that. And I think that they produced this book for a very long time because I've seen dates anywhere from 1968 to 1974. And this is what a tomato soup cake looks like. Mine's not gonna look exactly like that because I wanna turn these into cupcakes. I thought it was maybe just a little bit more fun. And I hope it's gonna work. I don't know, it doesn't give instructions for cupcakes, but usually you just put the batter into cupcake papers instead of pans. We gotta experiment, right? To begin, I have to sift together all of the dry ingredients. So that's 2 cups of cake flour. I swear I only ever buy cake flour for these videos. I need to put this cake flour in a different container to measure from. I'm gonna make a mess. Let's put this flour in a very narrow box. Sounds good. 3 teaspoons of baking powder. And then half a teaspoon each of cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. If you hadn't already guessed from the cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, this is gonna be a spice cake. Sift that all together. Give it a little pat. 1 cup of sugar. So this cake doesn't say to like cream together the shortening and the sugar. It just says to combine it with the dry ingredients. Oh, that was fantastic. The one time I choose not to wear an apron. Add shortening and half of a can of soup. And the soup in question, good old Campbell's tomato soup. And I'm just using these like Crisco sticks because I feel like they're just so much easier to measure. Do roughly half. Beat on medium speed of electric mixer for 2 minutes. Do I have flour on my face? It's like pumpkin spice Play-Doh, but tomato. Add remaining soup and eggs. I've got 2 eggs, precious commodity I know at the moment. The rest of my soup. Have you ever made a tomato soup cake, or is it like maybe a favorite from your family or childhood? You know I love to hear about that, so please leave me a comment. Now I beat this for 2 more minutes. This batter is almost the color of my sweater. A few thoughts before I scoop these into the cupcake wrappers. The color is very, very pumpkin spice-esque. Kind of smells like pumpkin spice, and I think it's mostly because of the nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon, but I'm not getting like a tomatoey kind of smell from it. My papers are flying away. Ooh, nice. That was very nice. This batter is very fluffy. I thought maybe it would be kind of like stodgy, but it's lovely. Really interested to see how these turn out. There's also a method that uses like a spiced cake mix, but I wanted to give sort of the original like 1 bowl method a try for my very first tomato soup cake. 1 down, 1 to go. The original recipe says to make this in 2 8-inch cake pans. So maybe we'll end up with a little under 24 cupcakes. Or maybe we'll end up with some like overflowing because I filled the cupcakes too full. Are there any that like need a little bit of help? You guys are a little skimpy. Here's what we're looking like. So now I'm gonna bake these for, it says 30 to 35 minutes in a 350-degree oven. I'm gonna go a little under since we're doing cupcakes. I don't want them to overbake. So we'll bake them, cool them, and then it's time to frost them. I can't tell you how thrilled I am with how these turned out. Not sure what I was expecting. I don't always have the best of luck with vintage cake recipes that like aren't from a box. These are beautiful. I think they feel like they have a good texture. They smell really good. They don't smell tomatoey at all. I wasn't sure about this recipe because I've watched other people make tomato soup cakes and I heard a few of them say that it was a little bit tomato soupy. Maybe the recipes they used had more tomato soup in them or something, but no, there's like not really a soupy, tomatoey smell to them. They're just kind of pleasantly spicy. I really do hope they taste as good as they look and smell. So I'm gonna get ready to frost these. This cake is frosted with a cream cheese frosting, and I'm gonna double the recipe. You're only supposed to start with 3 ounces of cream cheese. That just doesn't seem like enough. I'm gonna make double the recommended amount of frosting, and if I have some left, I'll just eat it with graham crackers. It's just nice to have a little triumph every now and again when you're trying a new recipe, isn't it? My heavenly rice pudding, my last video, didn't do so great. If you haven't checked that video, please do. I will link it in the description down below, but I'm hoping that the end result of these is much better. I'm starting with 6 ounces of very soft cream cheese. And then to that, I'm adding a couple of tablespoons of milk. Blend well until smooth. Bigger bowl. Should have been a bigger bowl. As much as I want to use this cute bowl, I'm gonna transfer it to a larger one. I admit defeat. Kind of. So to that, I am adding a teaspoon of vanilla extract. It says this is an optional step. I don't think it's that optional to me. Scraped. And now comes 5 cups of powdered sugar. Okay, first cup. There's just not really a good way not to make a mess with powdered sugar. Cup 3. It's kind of like a glaze right now. That's number 4. So it's supposed to be 1 more cup of powdered sugar. I'm gonna see how it goes after the 5th cup, because I kind of want to try and pipe this, and right now it just seems a little soft. All right, we had to get a new bag. That should do it, hopefully. This seems like it's about right. So that's the amount of icing. Double the recipe that was recommended. And it still seems kind of like if you were doing a 2-layer round cake, you'd need something to fill in between the layers. You'd need to do the top and the sides. This seems like it would barely make it. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and then we'll decorate. So I'm gonna attempt to pipe these. You know, it doesn't always go well for me, but let's give it a shot anyway. So I have my piping bag here. I have it in a big cup. For some reason, I couldn't find my small coupler, so I have this like super gigantic one here. I don't know. Oh boy. Well, I didn't do that very well. So you don't have to tell anybody. All right. Maybe I made this icing like a little too stiff. Oh no. I had all these like dreams and aspirations. Okay. I'm gonna break this piping bag. This should just be a channel of me trying to decorate cakes. It would be a comedy channel. Just not strong enough to use this piping bag apparently. Cake decorators. Do you have to do like physical therapy for your hands? Seriously, I'm gonna need to rest my hands after this. It's painful. It's easier. I think I'm warming it up a little bit. Okay, it's good enough. It's good enough. This one's just gonna have to be how it is. But a couple of them turned out pretty good. This one's a little messy. So let's give this one a taste. Okay, they're peeling away from the paper like very nicely. That is so nice. It doesn't taste like tomato soup at all. It's just like a really light and moist kind of spicy cake. Oh yeah, I'm getting a lot of like the warm spices in there. I'm gonna come show you a close-up of the texture. It's so nice. Ooh, crumbs. But like, look how nice that is. It's lovely. Wow, that was such a pleasant experience. Doesn't always happen with my vintage recipes, but this was a good one. If you want to try making these yourself, I'm gonna have the full recipe written in the description down below, and I highly recommend them. They are so good, not tomatoey, not weird or gross or anything at all. Be sure to check out Jim and Sherry's channels and wish Jim a happy birthday. If you happen to love vintage desserts like I do, I have an entire playlist and I will link it in the description down below. I hope you like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post videos about food, vintage cookbooks, and retro recipes every week. Thanks again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.